Shri Radhika Madhavayora Para Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namnam Vande Guru Shri Charanara-vindam Vande Guru Shri Charanara-vindam. May every one of you watching this video remain ever more immersed in your true self, in your own custom paradise state. May you experience infinite, ever-increasing ecstatic bliss with the pleasure goddess forevermore. In this video, we're going to talk about the reason why the corrupt individuals who run this world entrap and harm the most innocent among us. Jon Beney Ramsey, one of the most famous cases still to this day. In her case, she was promoted publicly and often put in clothing that only adults are fit to wear. And this created much scandal, much controversy, etc. throughout the world as to, why are people doing this? Why are the parents allowing this, etc., etc. What was really going on here behind the scenes is the individuals involved in the occult and these child abuse, child trafficking rings, they're wanting to rub in the faces of the entire planet, of everyone throughout the world, saying, hey, look, here is the most accurate representation of the pleasure goddess beyond our influence, beyond the influence of the demiurge. Look, we have the power here in this world. Look what we can do. So what they're showing you is they're showing you that the actual nature of the pleasure goddess that is beyond the demiurge's influence is childlike in nature. You may be familiar with the childlike empress from the never-ending story, right? And she was crying tears and begging the boy to save her by speaking her name, by protecting her, maintaining her paradise realm from destruction and takeover. The reality is, contrary to what you've been told and may have assumed, is that the actual deeper paradise states are full of infinitely innocent entities that need our protection at all times. The actual pleasure goddess is far more akin to an innocent child in nature eternally than any other idea of God or the goddess that you may have ever been spoon-fed throughout your entire life. The occultists and the elitists at the highest tiers most likely know this. So therefore, what they're doing is they're setting up in this world representations of the goddess and displaying them to the world. Hey, look, here is the innocent goddess, the childlike empress, the being beyond the influence of this world. And look what we can do to her representatives in this world. We have full control here, is what they're saying to everyone. They're trying to rub it in everyone's faces, okay? So think about this. Jon Beney Ramsey, one of these most famous cases of this occurring, she was often dressed in clothing that was only fit for actual adults. And this created a lot of controversy for obvious reasons. What was being shown to the world, however, was two things. The fact that although the pleasure goddess is an infinitely ancient entity, beyond time and space, unfathomably ancient, understanding in all the ways of pleasure and love and affection, to infinite degrees, her nature is childlike perpetually, eternally, and she forever needs our protection. So from my stance as a Gnostic Hare Krishna, a formfulist, a pleasurist, etc., a perpetual pleasurist, my stance is very solidly that the reason we're entrapped in this world is because we are combatants eternally, forever, protecting the childlike goddess of paradise, whose closest representatives in this world are young, innocent children, full of bright smiles and joy. Observe.
Name and how old you are?
My name is Jon Beney Ramsey and I'm 5
5 1/2. Okay, keep on. Do that. Okay. What is your favorite animal at the zoo?
The monkeys because they laugh. Stuff and hang around.
Notice something. Notice the clothing she was wearing. On her head, she was wearing
Name and how old you are.
a spiral of multiple colors, specifically black and white in this particular case, alternating black and white. Notice the shirt, black and white, polka dots, black and white. This is a well-known Freemasonic symbolism used on their floors. So this black and white, this is displaying and emphasizing to you the distinct aspects of reality. Paradise reality clashing with and distinct from the grid matrix that we are locked in here. It's showing you that this grid matrix parasites off of the deeper paradise states. Of course, yes, there are deeper parasite states also, as well as the deeper paradise states, and you need to be able to distinguish between them.
My name is Jon Beney Ramsey.
So you'll notice that this is one of the only interviews that you can easily find online of her. There's not a whole lot of them. And I find that very intriguing. Look at the background as well, the white and green background. With stuff like this, there's never anything left to chance. Of that you can be sure. So think about this. This case has been going on since the mid-90s up until today. Still ongoing. Still a topic that keeps being talked about over and over and over and over again. What I want you to understand is whether you accept or believe or think that she was actually killed, or whether you think this is a conspiracy, she's hidden somewhere, or that she grew up to be somebody else, whatever your personal version or take on what actually happened to her is, notice what is being shown to you in this entire dynamic. And you'll understand the esoteric reasons behind this. Folks, we are in an incredibly dark, intense, nightmarish, ongoing war against the forces that run this world. The demiurge, the archons, whatever you want to call them. These beings parasite off of and feed off of the most innocent beings among us. That is why the nature of this world is such that every one of us comes into it crying or screaming, unhappy, eyes closed, trying to avoid being in this world. Children being brought into this world are sacrificial victims to this world. They are being forced into guaranteed disease, guaranteed old age, and guaranteed death. They are being offered as sacrificial victims to the demiurge and the archons who run this world. This is why it is best not to bring new children into this world, because you are immediately, by bringing them here, sacrificing them to this hellscape. Now, as you grow up and become an adult, you'll realize ever more that you're a combatant against this impositional world. Your function is to be an eternal badass, constantly, forever, rebelling against all forms of hierarchy and domination inside your heart and mind and outside of you. Both. And you're especially designed to combat and oppose those who are parasiting off of the infinitely loving pleasure goddess, who has no concept of violence, aggression, cruelty, hurt, pain, torture, torment, harm, etc. Who's a being of infinite accommodation, not a being of power or force. You were lied to. You were told that the supreme being was a being of force and power over you. That is describing the being who runs this world, not the actual supreme being, not the being behind the one who runs this world. You were lied to about the nature of that being. The only thing most people were correctly informed about, but it was mixed in with a bunch of lies, hidden in plain sight, is that the actual goddess is, in fact, a being of concentrated benevolence, kindness, and pleasure, inspiration. She is not a being of infinite power, of force of any kind, of aggression, of hierarchy. Nothing of the sort. The real dynamic of reality is that you are a protector of innocence, not the other way around. We're not in a situation where it's, Lordy Lord up there, protect us, save us, help us. No. Lordy Lord up there, rank being, rank God. The God concept, the God principle, the dominating principle. That is the great evil that must be opposed perpetually. So reverse the narrative, recognize the truth, understand the spirals of reality, understand the depths, understand the layers, and please assist me in protecting the goddess in all of her forms manifested in this world. Thank you. Perpetual Pleasurist signing out and plunging into the deepest depths of reality. And I hope you do the same. Have a wonderful day.